Hey guys, want to talk here today about this White Nessmuk knife. If you hear any fireworks in the background, don't mind. Just people in the neighborhood running a little wild today. I first learned about the White knives a couple months ago when Dave Canterbury had him on his channel. And White's a custom blade maker who does kind of fur trade era style knives, and he does them. I'd say, yeah, definitely on a budget. A lot of his knives are between $35 and like $50, and you can get a sheath for them for $20-25. So for $50, you can get yourself a really decent knife. These are made of 1095 high carbon steel. They are typically have like a maple handle, but he uses some other materials as well. They're all of his designs are full Tang, as you can see, with brass pins holding the wood in. Has that kind of hammer forge finish to it. His little maker's mark there, you can see. Hand ground edge. Now I know there's some people on the internet, there are some haters out there who say that these are not forged knives, that they're actually just kind of cast steel that he uses, that he cuts down to size and shape. Of course, he denies that, but just want to let you know there is that little bit of controversy out there that a lot of people believe that these knives can't be made at this price range, and that he is just using a stock removal method instead of forging. So this one here was $35, plus the sheath was like $20. Sheath is let's grab this here, pretty standard kind of hand sewn leather sheath. Nothing amazing, nothing special. Holds the knife well, but nice that you have that option for one to come with it. Okay, so like I said, he makes many different designs. This is just one of them. This is the Nessmuk style, based after George Sears, aka Nessmuk's knife that he used in his book Woodcraft. Let's see. He does other fur trade kind of designs, some bushcraft style knives. He does quite a bit, and most of his work is pretty inexpensive. He uses 1095 carbon steel, which is an excellent steel for a bushcraft knife. It will spark a ferro rod and has really good edge retention properties. So I really think he not only chose good materials, but just does really good work. And these, guys, are not perfect. They're not perfect. These are handmade. The edges are hand ground. You can see, if I have my finger here, there's a little waviness, to the edge grind. There's some areas in the finish that aren't perfect. Some of the areas in the wood aren't perfect. These things aren't meant to be perfect. They're meant to be kind of replicas of that fur trade era. So they're really cool. Now this Nessmuk style isn't really meant to do things like baton wood and split wood and things like that. Nessmuk designed it really to be more of a kind of a skinning, gutting, kind of, it's a knife meant for meat. It was meant to slice meat, cut meat, something you could eat off. He actually designed it with that hump in the back so that you could actually put things, as you slice meat, you could bring it up the back up to your mouth, and it would be a steady way to hold slices of meat. So with that said, we're not going to do any batoning or anything like that. The knife just isn't meant for it. Can it do it? Yeah, sure it can. But are we going to do it? No. It's just not that tool for that job. So if you want to see it, Dave Canterbury does some batoning with on his video, and there's a couple other people doing it as well. I'm not going to do it today. We're just going to do a little carving. So as I mentioned, these are 1095 carbon steel. Typically, they're all full Tang design. Handle scales held in with brass pins. They have this hammer forge finish. I think he does some other finishes he offers as well. Usually, they have the jimping on the back. Most models have that, as well as a 90-degree spine that is unfinished for the purpose of striking a ferro rod, which is really cool. He really had bushcrafters in mind when he makes these things, obviously. But I think they are also kind of reminiscent of what people got during the time. So really cool. They're really inexpensive. You know, these are an absolute winner as far as I'm concerned. And it looks like, you know, these are something that the prices are only going to go up on. So I'm hopefully going to buy, you know, 1 or 2 more of these before that happens. So without further ado, we're going to do a little work with this just to show you that these things do have come from Jeff White, super sharp, and they're very, very capable of doing your normal camp chores. So here we go. This is a piece of buckthorn from my property. And I'm going to say right off the bat, buckthorn is a very dense, very hard wood. It's like hickory or ash. Kind of tough to work with. Yeah, it's great when it's green, but when you let it dry out like this, it's a very dense, very, very hard wood. So I thought it would be a great test for this. I mean, you can tell. You can hear it. It's a very dense, very heavy wood. So we're going to do a little slicing and see what's up with this thing. So of course, we've already done this. There's actually a bunch of paper on the floor. Because I was doing this before we filmed. Make sure I'm on frame here. I tell you guys, I will never get used to doing this stuff on camera. The angles and all that are just... angles are just crazy. Trying to get in, you know, not block the light, but also, you know, make sure that you're in focus and doing what you need to do. So we'll take a little close-up look here before we get to it. There's that edge, hopefully. You'll see. In case you didn't get to see it good before. Alright, so let's do a little carving. So, like I said, this thing allows you to choke up very well on it, which is kind of nice. And you can get some really good thin curls out of this. Because the edge is so, you know, the edge is just really super sharp. So you can see, you can get really thin little curls for kindling out of this. You can go and take a big, deep bite as well. You don't have to do either. So this particular knife works a little better close up. Trying to use this edge out here is just really difficult. I mean, you can kind of use it as a push knife a little bit. You know, if you're using 2 hands, you don't kind of push that edge, you know, like that technique. But really, you get a lot of control when you're up close and personal with that edge. So flip over to a different side here. It hasn't been touched yet. You can see this. You know, you could easily use this to make a fire. It's carves very well. Like I said, guys, this is a very dense wood. This is not easy to work with at all. You can also use the spine. Trying to do this. It's one thing I do have an issue with is I wish that bottom part of the blade were not sharpened. I may dull it up because I am really worried about my hand slipping up on that blade. So you can definitely get some real fine dust-like material off of the spine, that 90-degree spine. So that does work. I don't know if you can see that, but you can get some nice fine stuff as well. Tip, nice and strong. See, we can definitely do some prying with that. It's not going to affect that tip the slightest. So, try to come in at some high angle stuff just to make sure that the edge isn't going to roll or anything like that. So definitely a very good knife for the price. Edge, we'll see. And it still shaves hair. I've been messing with this, carving with this. Edge holding is excellent on it. I'm even using the end up here, you know. Like I said, this thing is really impressive for the money. I can't wait to get a. I really can't wait to get some more of these. So funny when you use that edge up here, kind of slice. This wood really seems to like that, but yeah. I mean, is this a wood carving knife? No, it's not. It's designed for me, but can it do it? Absolutely. There you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Really cool knife for a really good